It's a beautiful night for baseball. And live from Chase Field in Phoenix, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first of a three-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser. Nomar is off this weekend. Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke are combined 29-9 this year and a 1.92 ERA. All of the other Dodger starters combined are 26-25 and a 4.15 ERA. One of those other guys, Alex Wood, trying to make a postseason pitch, is getting the start tonight.
Two of the three other guys are going to pitch in this series, but they're the two upgrades, I believe, for those candidates in the 4 and 5 role. You talk about Alex Wood. Mike Bolsinger has been outstanding. He's back with the big club. And then, of course, Zach Greinke. But Alex Wood has been outstanding since becoming a Dodger. He's 3-3 with the Dodgers with a 3.43. And it's because of his fastball location. Since he came over from the Braves, the fastball location has been better, it's been down, and the league average against it has been almost 80 points less. Alex Wood is definitely a viable candidate as a playoff starter for these Dodgers.
Adrian Gonzalez has been slumping over the past month, but he's come to a place where he has hit well over .330 in his career. And this is a place where the Dodgers have played well over the course of the history of these two franchises. Alana Rizzo with that story when we come back. Diamondbacks get ready for the first of this three-game series. Dodgers have 23 games left. They're 9 in front of the Giants in the loss column. And our closed captioning is brought to you by First 5 California. Talk, read, sing. It changes everything. The Diamondbacks are on the field. And here is a lineup put together by Don Mattingly tonight. Justin Ruggiano's going to lead it off. Don't go away. The Dodgers have hit leadoff home runs in each of the last 2 games. Ruggiano hit one on Tuesday night. Schebler on Wednesday night. In case you're wondering, the Dodgers have never had 3 consecutive leadoff home runs. Peraza's at second base. Turner at third. Gonzalez in the cleanup spot. Van Slyke in right. Seager making his 8th appearance. At shortstop, Ellis is the catcher. Heisey in center. Alex Wood is pitching and batting 9th. And they are facing Robbie Ray, the 23-year-old left-hander.
First season with the Diamondbacks, spent parts of 5 years with the Nationals and the Tigers. Comes at you with a big fastball, and he throws it off, and over 70% of the time, 93 miles an hour coming at you.
Ruggiano takes a strike, and we're underway. Justin Ruggiano, 5 for 11 since coming to the Dodgers, with a couple of home runs and 6 runs batted in, including the leadoff home run on Tuesday night. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ruggiano, with Peraza on deck and Turner to follow. So Ruggiano, a last-minute bargain basement pickup, has really done the job for the Dodgers. Diamondbacks at 67 and 73. Ruggiano, big swing and a miss, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scouting report on Ray is throws hard, he'll walk a few, and pitch count has generally been his own worst enemy.
He's really started to strike a lot of people out here at home at Chase Field, starting to get comfortable in the D-backs uniform. And the secondary pitch is the slider, and a changeup is rare, so be ready for the hard stuff.
Ruggiano's been struck out, and we are underway. Defensively behind Ray tonight, Phil Gosselin's been hitting very well for the Diamondbacks at third. Ahmed at short. Chris Owings at second base. Paul Goldschmidt's been running out of steam the past couple of weeks. Inciarte's in left. Pollock having a great year. Tomas has slowed down the second half of the season. Castillo is behind the plate. As Jose Peraza steps in, he'd been hobbled by a hamstring over the past week. He's back in the saddle starting tonight. And with a lefty Robbie Ray on the hill, Chase Utley getting the evening off. Peraza's 5th start. 267. 1 ball and no strikes to Peraza.
Peraza wasn't recalled till August 28th, but boy, it feels like we've missed him with that hamstring. He brought so much energy and stolen bases, has played well.
Perfect 3 for 3 in stolen bases. As we mentioned in the Open, the Dodgers over the past month become a new team, running with impunity.
Yeah, philosophically, it looks like they are more aggressive. Don Mattingly pointing out some statistical things about the risk and reward of the stolen base. I think some of the players also took it a little personal that there was a change at the third base coaching position, so they wanted to make a point of emphasis to get that going. And a guy who doesn't have a stolen base, as we take a look at Ron Renicky, I think Chase Utley has done a lot for this change. Just the aggressiveness he has shown on the base path, showing people how to run the bases. And the guy next to him, Jimmy Rollins, he's kicked back on his old wheels.
And he is out with a bad finger. The 2-2 slowly hit to second. Quickly 2 out and nobody on.
They're waiting for that knuckle of Jimmy Rollins to heal.
Well, the case of Rollins, Seager has filled in so well. And then the question is, at some point, when Rollins returns to short, where does Seager go? They'll give Turner some time off because Justin and his legs are beginning to wear down. And Justin takes a strike. It's 0-1. At 284, since that staph infection, hitting well under 200.
One of the benefits of this large lead on the Giants, and with such great depth on the roster, you can take time with some of these minor injuries where guys might have had to play through them if the race would be tight.
Turner down on strikes, and that's going to do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Robbie Ray. Alex Wood about ready to make his 8th start with the Dodgers, looking for his 4th win with his new club. He'll be facing Pollock, Inciarte, and Goldschmidt in the bottom of the 1st. And here's the lineup put together by rookie skipper Chip Hale, who has really turned this franchise around. And while they're 67 and 73 and 13 and a half behind the Dodgers, they finally feel that they are heading in the right direction. And it's going to be A.J. Pollock having a great year leading off. Inciarte in left and Goldschmidt at 317, 7th leading hitter in the National League. Castillo, Goslin, and Owings. Yasmani Tomas has struggled lately. Ahmed at short. Robbie Ray is pitching and batting 9th, facing Alex Wood.
Alex coming off a great outing, 7 innings against the Padres, where he only gave up 3 hits and got the W to even his record of 3-3 as a Dodger. Fastball hovers around 90 miles an hour. The curveball and the changeup, his best tool, his ability to pitch.
Pollock takes a strike and it's 0-1. A.J. Pollock is the 9th leading hitter in the league at 314. 164 base hits, lines one into left field, and it gets past Ruggiano. Pollock will hold at first. And that's the 165th hit for A.J. Pollock. He's 2nd in the league in base hits.
Stayed on this breaking ball real well, Alex Wood, and you see Ruggiano comes in and just almost catches it, almost traps it. Look from this angle right here, just about a foot short right there. Ford is just keeping it right there in front of him to hold him to 1.
And so Pollock is aboard. Inciarte at 295 on deck. Actually stepping in, and it's Goldschmidt who's on deck at 317. This Diamondback team can hit. They're 3rd in the National League collectively at 265.
With this Diamondback team, and really their record is reflected because of the pitching staff. The offense has been outstanding.
3rd in the league in batting average, but 10th in the league in earned run average. Inciarte with Goldschmidt on deck and Wellington Castillo to follow. Dodgers have beaten the Diamondbacks 9 out of 12 this year. Last year, they were 15-4. So they've been raising Arizona. Mattingly's club 21 games over 500 with 23 to play. And Cincinnati has 4 home runs and takes inside. 2 balls and a strike.
2-1 could be a hit and run count. I wouldn't be surprised to see Alex Wood maybe give a test over there at first base, just to make sure you keep him honest.
Pollock has 33 stolen bases in 40 tries. He's 4th in the league in stolen bases. So he has just had a tremendous season. 2nd in the league in runs scored. And Wood's going to keep him close.
Running counts, hit and run counts, you pay a little bit more attention.
Two balls and 1 strike. Pollock extends his lead. Now Wood steps off the rubber. Now he's back on. Inside, 3-1.
Pollock is flinching over there at first base, so he's either deking to get ready to run, or he's not getting a good read off of Alex Wood yet. Getting some instruction down there from first base coach Dave McKay.
He was flailing his arms more than skipping his feet. There's a strike on the outside corner. 3-2. Ender Inciarte.
Here's where you find out if Pollock can read him or not. That is Alex Wood, because in a 3-2 count with a base runner that can steal, a contact guy at the plate, you'd think you'd want to start him, but you don't want to run into an out.
On 3-2, Pollock stays put. Line by, caught by Seager. Throw back to first base. Not going to be in time. It sure pays off to be 6-4.
Diamondbacks are fortunate they didn't start the runner. That would have been a sure double play. The line drive. Alex Wood is fortunate that Corey Seager is standing right there, and Pollock freezes and gets back. A good piece of base running as he sees the flight of the ball and hustles himself back. Corey Seager did a very nice job calmly getting that ball to first base.
Well, one of the things we noticed in spring, and now that we have watched Seager in his first 7 games at the big league level, nothing seems to come too fast at him. Paul Goldschmidt, though, has been slowing up in the last 12 games. Takes a ball under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes, hitting just 174, and he's been struck out 16 times. Happy birthday to Paul Goldschmidt, even with the last couple of weeks struggling. 7th in the league at 317 and 6th in the league with 157 hits. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trying to come fastball in, leaked out over the plate. Goldschmidt, that is a sample of his cold spell he's going through right now. That's a ball down the middle that he usually crushes.
27 home runs, 97 runs batted in for Paul Goldschmidt, who takes inside, and it's 2-1. Well, he is right in the middle of the Triple Crown numbers. Not going to win the award, of course, but those are some big-time numbers for Paul Goldschmidt. An all-star to boot.
Pollock going out there just trying to get a read, extending his lead almost to try and force Alex Wood to come to first so he could start to pick up any of the moves he has.
2-1. Now 3 balls and a strike.
Runners over there at first will extend their lead, and you call that a one-way lead. And it's one way in a way that you know that the pitcher sees how far off you are, that they're going to come over. And one of the ways to combat that one-way lead is to do that little step-off move. We saw Clayton Kershaw in a start just a few days ago pick somebody off like that.
Goldschmidt on 3-1. So the Diamondbacks have something going, 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Wood in 42 innings since coming to the Dodgers. That was his 20th walk.
He will pitch in a little traffic at times, but he does continue to compete and work to the edges.
Wellington Castillo has been hot. 18 home runs and 44 runs batted in. Diamondbacks with a bit of a rally going here in the bottom of the first.
Castillo was scratched from the lineup on Wednesday with a sore left wrist, but that has healed up and he's back in there.
So good speed on the bases. Pollock at second, Goldschmidt at first. Into left center field, way back, on its way, and it's a 3-0 Arizona lead. And what a shot by Castillo, his 19th home run of the year. A single, a walk, and quite a home run by Castillo.
Alex Wood will tell you that this is a mistake. It's a breaking ball that is up, and make no mistake about it, Wellington Castillo does not miss it at all. He opened up his swing, hit this on a very high trajectory, and hit it a long, long way.
400 and something. It's just a matter of what the something was. 448 feet. That's something. Now Phil Goslin. Goslin at 294. He's got a couple of home runs. Came over from the Braves.
Alex Wood pitching from behind in the count. Has given a free pass to Goldschmidt and a home run up there to Castillo.
And that one is drilled to left. There haven't been any softies against Wood yet. Pollock a line drive single to left. Inciarte lined out. Goldschmidt walked. Castillo a big home run. And Goslin with a line drive into left.
7 innings of scoreless baseball against the Padres. 97 quality pitches thrown by Alex Wood. But here today against these Diamondbacks, he has really got to get the ball down. He hasn't thrown many quality pitches at all.
And the Diamondbacks are making him pay as Chris Owings steps in.
Diamondbacks with 622 runs coming in, only second to Colorado. And both of those are offensive parks. The Dodgers have 573 runs.
Ranking 10th in the league. Arizona's second with their 622. They've got more hits than any other club, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they are working out Alex Wood here in the first inning. 20th pitch. He's down by 3.
This being September, Charlie, there's no shortage of pitching down in either bullpen.
There are a total of 24 relief pitchers dressed tonight. 13 for Arizona, 11 for the Dodgers. There's no room at the inn. No balls and 2 strikes.
We're 1 player short of a full major league roster in the combined bullpens.
Well, the expansion of the roster rule has really now
reached its tipping point, maybe?
It's about time. Everything about the game when they count the most in September changes. Into right center field, and by the looks of it, the shelf life of Alex Wood is going to reach its expiration date awfully early tonight. Owings arrives at third with a triple, and Arizona's got a 4-0 lead.
Triples score people from first all the time, but this is a triple because the guy at first, Goslin, got a great jump and a good read. You see he's off the crack of the bat and knew that ball was going to be in the gap, and Goslin made some good turns on the bags, and he really cut him close, and he's got good speed, and that allowed Owings to make it over to third also.
Third base coach Andy Green. Keep running. Keep running. For Owings, his 5th 3-base hit. Dodgers are forced to bring the infield in already, with the Diamondbacks having scored 4 in the first. Tomas at 282, 8 home runs and 43 runs batted in.
Love the effort right there by A.J. Ellis, trying to steal an out for his pitcher. He knows it's a lot of work to get through this inning right now. If he can get Alex Wood through this inning, maybe we can squeak 5 out of him if he settles down.
4 runs, 4 hits for the Diamondbacks. 1 hit harder than the next. Tomas lashes 1 foul. Yasmani Tomas got off to the great start. First 68 games, he was hitting .316, had 35 runs batted in. In his last 39 games, he's hitting .217 and has knocked in 8. Wood misses inside, 2-1. Nick Ahmed on deck. 1 out, 4 in for the D-backs here in the first. Chopped to short. Seager comes home, and a tag out easily made by Ellis, but Ellis took the brunt of that slide, and he's kicking around a little bit.
Infield in. Dodgers wanting to shut down the runner at third, and Corey Seager doesn't panic when the ball's hit to him. A high 1-hopper, but smooth transition from glove to throwing arm, and you see AJ's leg takes the brunt of that slide right there. Nice job getting it out of the way to absorb some of that impact, but he came up limping a little bit.
Left leg, left ankle took the brunt. Now Nick Ahmed with Tomas at first. Tomas with the fielder's choice in the RBI. Ahmed at 218. Outstanding defender. They keep wondering, can he hit at the major league level?
He hit against us the last time we were here, but his average has really slipped down again.
Robbie Ray is on deck. No balls and a strike, and it's inside.
This outing from Alex Wood, the 4 runs you see on the board from Arizona are the most he's given up, or tied for the most he's given up as a Dodger starter.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
His first outing for the Dodgers, he was acquired on the 30th of July. His first outing was against Philadelphia. At Philadelphia, went 6 1/3, gave up 4 earnings. Since then has had better outings ever since, but this one has started off in a rough way.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Past third base coach Andy Green. Tony La Russa, of course, now running baseball operations. Dave Stewart, the GM, and his assistant, Deshaun Watson, came out of the Dodger organization. Deshaun ran the minor league system for many years. The D-backs making a U-turn. Here's the 1-2, inside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Ahmed's the 8th batter of the inning. Two and 2 with 2 out. Lined into right field. That's going to be a base hit. 5th hit of the inning for the Diamondbacks.
31 pitches now for Alex Wood. This ball is just a good pitch, but a good piece of hitting. It's actually probably off the plate by the width of a ball, but it doesn't seem like he's even speeding up their bats at all and getting them off him, because he threw the fastball in prior to that, just missed the corner, and then to throw that pitch away off the plate, it's like they are not being fooled at all.
So Rick Honeycutt's going to go out and try to settle down Wood. In fact, the Diamondbacks were putting the wood to Alex tonight.
No action in the Dodger bullpen. It's just a little encouraging visit. And also from a pitching coach, when you see the pitch count at 31, you're trying to do anything you can to change the rhythm of the game and also give your pitcher a little bit of a breather.
Giants host the Padres tonight. Andrew Cashner and Jake Peavy. Giants got even more bad news today. Gregor Blanco out with a concussion. Robbie Ray takes a strike, 0-1.
You like seeing the opposing pitcher come to the plate. If you're Alex Wood, you just don't want to see him there in the first inning.
Wood now has given up 18 earned runs in the first inning this year. 4 tonight. Nothing in 2 to Robbie Ray. Not much of a hitter. He's 2 for 20. And he's down on strikes, and that'll end the inning. But the Diamondbacks send 9 to the plate. 4 come in to score. We'll go to the second. Gonzalez, Van Slyke, and Seager coming up. What happened 14 years ago throughout Major League Baseball today, and 125 Marines were present here at Chase Field before the game began. And throughout Major League Baseball, ceremonies are taking place on this night. A night we'll never forget. And it was here in 2001 the World Series would be played. I don't imagine there were very many Yankee fans in 2001, but there were a ton of New York fans. And so throughout Major League Baseball, all the players are wearing American flags on their hats on this, the 14th anniversary of September 11th. Adrian Gonzalez will lead it off here in the second. Van Slyke is on deck. And then Corey Seager. So the Dodgers down 4. Alex Wood getting cuffed around. Gonzalez loves to come to Arizona. And this is the time he should be here. He's been struggling since August the 16th. Gonzo is at 185 and a 295 on base percentage. And so he's at 276 at the moment. And it's 2-1.
Adrian's got good feelings when he comes to this ballpark. Hopefully it will get him hot.
It's been a while. It's been over a month. There's a strike. 2-2. In 71 games here, 20 home runs and 62 runs batted in. Works the count full. Van Slyke and Seager to follow. We're in the second. Diamondbacks cuffed around Wood in the first. Into short center. Pollock taking charge. First out of the second. Now Van Slyke stepping in.
Right fielder, number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
Up to 254 with 5 home runs and 27 runs batted in. Big game back east. Toronto 11-5 over the Yankees in the bottom half of the seventh. Blue Jays can go 2.5 up on the Yankees. They play a doubleheader with them tomorrow. Jake Arrieta won again today. Cubs beat the Phillies 5-1.
Arrieta now, I think, 19 wins with a 1.99 ERA. Keeps himself right in the middle of the Cy Young race with Clayton and Zach.
Looking like a 3-horse race down the stretch. The 1-2 fouled off to the right and out of play. Robbie Ray on 1 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Greinke is the leader of the pack. Arrieta breathing down his neck, and Kershaw right there. Greinke pitches on Sunday. And Van Slyke gets hit by a pitch.
Top 5 on that ERA list with Cole and DeGrom. Also, all playoff teams. All playoff starters. Possible. 93 to 95 mile an hour on your side of your thigh there, your IT band. That doesn't feel good.
So Van Slyke is at first, and Seager stepping in. Corey is 9 for 25. This is his 8th game. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Lefties have not intimidated him in the least. 5 hits against righties, 4 against lefties. One ball, 1 strike. Has a hit in 6 of his first 7 games. Making his 5th start at short. He has started at third base twice. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Robbie Ray, we mentioned in the open, his biggest enemy this year has been himself. Pitch count.
He looks like for 4 or 5 pitches he can just lock in, and then all of a sudden he loses his command. And it takes him a while to get it back.
2 balls and 1 strike. Now 3 balls and a strike. Seager, beside his 9 hits, has walked 3 times. He's had a couple of at-bats where he was 0-2 and worked out the walk. Not supposed to happen on the 21.
The 2 plays he had in the first inning with the line drive to him, throw to first, and then the ground ball infield in.
There goes the runner, ball 4. The Dodgers have a bit of a rally going. On 3-1, Van Slyke was sent. Seager works out the walk, and A.J. Ellis is coming up. And Mike Harkey is going to come out and try to settle down Robbie Ray. He's already had 5 3-ball counts in the first 6 batters he's faced.
John Mattingly already showing a lot of confidence in Corey Seager. A, playing him, B, hitting him 6th and 5th, and C, right there, 3-1, starting the runner. Understanding a left-on-left situation for a rookie. He is starting the runner, trusting the youngster, understand the strike zone. And a lot of youngsters, you're afraid because even the borderline pitch, they're like, oh, I got to swing, and then they give up the walk for a foul ball or an out. But Seager showing he can take the walk right there with Van Slyke running.
A.J. Ellis stepping in. Ellis with 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. He's had a solid second half of the year. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ellis has reached base in 24 of his last 27 games. Hitting .313 since the middle of June. No balls and 1 strike with 1st and 2nd. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was Monty Grandal today, taking some swings in the cage, trying to get ready and play through some of the pain he's having in his shoulder. A.J. Ellis, that's what scared me a little bit at that collision at the plate as we take a look there at Yasmani. Austin Barnes gave A.J. a day to get some rest.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now it's 1-2 to Ellis with Chris Heisey on deck.
Coming down the stretch here with the lead on the Giants, you're hoping to heal up, not catch some more nicked up injuries where guys can't stay in a rhythm and have to sit out and watch just to get healthy enough to play and be at full strength.
After tonight, 22 games remain. Now the 1-2 to Ellis. Instead, Bray will step off the rubber. Owings tries to keep Van Slyke close at second. The Dodgers with their 8.5 game lead on the Giants. That's the 2nd largest lead in Major League Baseball. On 1-2, Ellis lines one into the glove of Goldschmidt and doubled up as Seager, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. 4-0 Arizona as we go to the bottom half of the 2nd. .31 Highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. Brought to you by the 2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 Highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. So A.J. Ellis lines into a double play to end the top half of the 2nd inning. Dodger fans well represented on this warm Friday night here in the desert. Alex Wood, who gave up 4 runs and 5 hits through 34 pitches, 20 for strikes in the 1st inning, will be facing the Diamondbacks Top of the order, Pollock, Inciarte, and Paul Goldschmidt. A.J. Pollock has quietly had one of the great years in the league. Fouls it back, 0-1. 9th in the league in hits, or batting average, 2nd in the league in hits, 2nd in the league in runs scored, 7th in doubles, 4th in stolen bases. A couple of years ago, they had a dilemma here. They had two terrific center fielders, Adam Eaton and A.J. Pollock. The town and the team wasn't big enough for both, so Eaton was shipped off to Chicago, and the Diamondbacks are thrilled with the investment they made in Pollock.
Plays a pretty mean center field also, and the bat has really been an asset now. I just like the way he goes about his business, too.
To short, easy hop for Seager. That's the first out of the second. It's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SNLADataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Ender Inciarte stepping in. He lined to short in his first at-bat. David Peralta, who's played awfully well for the Diamondbacks this year. He's in the top 10 in hitting. Getting the night off. A wealth of riches for the Diamondback outfield. One ball and one strike. The collective batting average of the Diamondbacks outfielders highest in the National League. 298. Inciarte is at 295. Knocked down by Turner. Did a great job of keeping that to a single. Infield hit for Inciarte.
Inciarte's speed. Justin Turner playing in as we watch this Carl's Cam replay, playing in because the count's 2-1. He still could possibly bunt, and because he was in 6-8 feet in front of the third base bag, the range is cut down. The ball gets by you a little quicker, and even with a dive behind him, could not just reach it. Carl's Cam brought you the replay, and Justin Turner gave you the attempt.
Inciarte at first base has stolen 17 this year. That's Goldschmidt, who walked in his first at-bat. Goldschmidt is looking to become just the sixth player since 1975 in the same season to have 100 RBIs, 100 walks, and 20 stolen bases. He's at 97 runs batted in currently. So in the last 40 years, who are the other guys with 100 RBIs, 100 walks, 20 stolen bases in the same season? I'll tell you after this pitch. Barry Bonds, Bobby Abreu, Jeff Bagwell, Joe Morgan, and Chipper Jones.
Pretty good company.
Yes, sir. Goldschmidt with 21 stolen bases, 27 home runs, 97 RBIs. One ball and one strike. 2-1.
Alex Wood struggling with fastball command. Ball's been up today. Has not really had a very sharp breaking ball. Hasn't thrown many. And now A.J. Ellison, Alex are trying to mix in the changeup to get him off of that fastball.
3-1. Padres failed to score in the top of the first in San Francisco. Cashner and Peavy pitching at AT&T Park tonight. 3-1 to Goldschmidt. Strike on the outside corner.
Good pitch to a real good hitter and a hitter's count. Hit that fastball in the corner.
On 3-2. Runner stays put, and Goldschmidt fouls it back.
Mentioned that game in San Francisco, the Giants returning home from a 10-game road trip where they didn't do very well. They lost 7. Now they have a lot of games at home left for the rest of the season,
including 4 with the Dodgers in the 3rd week of September. Into left field, and it's now a 6-0 Arizona lead. This is a day and a night that Alex Wood should have stayed in bed.
Couple of long home runs in just a couple of innings for Alex Wood. This ball is a bullet that Goldie hits. He took a 3-1 fastball low and away, got something on the inner half, and made Wood pay.
Splintered Wood. And Wellington Castillo, who hit a 448-foot home run in the 1st inning, fouls it back. It's 0-1.
One knocked AJ on his heels a little bit. This does not feel good even with a mask. Oh, hit the mask and then the shoulder.
And that's the right one. Grandal's got a left shoulder bruise that has really affected his play. The Dodger bullpen is now going to work. Pedro Baez. One ball, 2 strikes. Wood at 52 pitches. To the right side. Gonzalez better hurry to retrieve the throw, and he does.
Right, Charlie. Gonzo had to go a ways to get over there to first base when this ball hit off the end, and he makes a break for it about a step and a half and then hustles back.
That's also, I think, a product of the unfamiliarity between Gonzalez and Peraza, the second baseman. How much room can Peraza cover? How much room can Gonzalez cover? Remember when the former Diamondback, Orlando Hudson, was the second baseman for the Dodgers. First base, I guess it was Loney at that time. Didn't have to worry. They knew that the O-Dog would be there. And here is Peraza making his 5th start. Gonzalez still has to get acquainted with him. 0-2 to Phil Goslin with 2 out and 2 in here in the 2nd. Wood has struck out 1, walked 1. And now it's 1-2. Breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To second base, and Peraza gets handcuffed. This is the makings of one of those nights.
It's a ball that Jose would tell you he's supposed to have. Just a couple hops to his left and just gets by him. Gets a nice angle on it, so visually this is not going to fool you. Maybe it took a hop on him, but I think he'll tell you he should have had that one.
So it goes as an error. It's Peraza. .25 pitches for Wood here in the second, after a 34-pitch first inning. This is the 15th batter he has faced, and there's still just 2 out here in the second inning.
He had done a real solid job coming into his last outing, and I said, you know, this is a candidate that we really can have a for sure number 4, and I still really believe that. He's just having a rough outing tonight. Pitched fantastic against the Padres.
The 1-1 up the middle into center field for a base hit. Now it's first and third as Goslin didn't stop running.
Even when he makes good pitches, that was a well-located off-speed pitch right on the corner, and Ron Mattingly's going to want A.J. Ellis to go out there and stall for Pedro Baez, but check the look of that pitch, and he's got a ball that should have been an out at second base and a ball that wasn't hit that well but finds a hole on a good pitch, and it's just not Alex's Wood night. And they're going to stall a little bit, and they're going to make a move.
Alex Wood in his last start, no runs, 3 hits against the Padres last Saturday. The Padres are the 13th ranking offense in the league. The Diamondbacks, who are 3rd in the league, have removed Wood entirely too early. So it's first and third, 2 in here in the second. Already 6-0 Arizona. Baez coming in. September the 16th, the first 40,000 fans at Dodger Stadium receive a bobblehead of 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner Fernando Valenzuela, presented by State Farm. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotion. Well, here's Pedro Baez trying to pick up the pieces in his 44th appearance. ERA of 3.38. 51 strikeouts and 42 2/3, and opponents are hitting .256 against him. Alex Wood, shortest outing of his career, 1 2/3, and to this point 6 runs and 8 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 1 very early shower. Here's Monty Tomas. Fielder's choice, drove in a run in his first at bat. 96, a little bit late.
Pedro Baez coming in Maybe just for this inning, maybe for another one. The pitcher slot for the Dodgers, Alex Wood, now Pedro Baez in the 9-hole. Up second next inning.
Well, no shortage of pitchers out there in the firehouse.
Well, Pedro might get a rare reliever at bat, though. If they want him to go farther than this out.
The Dodgers now with 10 remaining in the bullpen. Arizona has 13 in their bullpen. It's crowded out there.
They have to take out a lot of extra gum and sunflower seeds with that many mouths to feed.
All those sunflower seeds, they may have a farm by the time the night's over. Nick Ahmed is on deck. Now the 1-1 to Tomas instead of toss to first. Chris Owings more than capable of stealing a base. He's got 16 of them. The Diamondbacks have stolen 118 bases this year. There he goes. Line to right. Slicing toward the corner. Fair ball. Drops in front of Van Slyke. Owings will score easily. And Tomas is at second base. It is now 7-0.
The stolen base total for the Diamondbacks was going to be tried to go up, but with the runner going and the slicing line drive down the right field line, with the head start, you got a chance to get home on this ball. 2 outs, you're going on contact anyways. Trying to be his own third base coach right there, looking over his left shoulder, looking at what's happening in right field. And Diamondbacks tack on 2 more.
Well, the base runner should have his eyes squarely on the third base coach, not what's going on over his shoulder. Details as Arizona has scored 4 more here in the second. Already 8-0. Nick Ahmed with a single in his first at bat. That foul ball got Jim Wolf. Immediately the 3 field umpires come to check him out. The Diamondback trainer is there. Oh.
That's scary. I'm sure AJ heard something. Boy, he woke up right there. It seemed like he was slightly out for a second there. Just the shock of that blow.
Gregor Blanco of the Giants was placed on the concussion DL today. There are many umpires over the course of the years that have gone on the injured list with concussions. And Jim is the older brother of Randy Wolf. Randy is still pitching with the Tigers. Jim Wolf immediately went to his knees. Years ago at Dodger Stadium, Kerwin Danley was full plate umpire. And a fastball went over the glove, and I think Russell Martin was catching at the time and caught Danley square on the mask. Knocked him out. Had to be carried off the field, and he was gone for about a half a year. Jim, a Valley boy. Brian Onora making sure he's okay. That's Alan Porter talking to him face to face. And it looks like he's going to be all right.
They're trying to make sure, give him all the time he wants. sure you're dizzy. Made him move his head back and forth to still see if the vision was clear, and he didn't get dizzy, and he seems to have tested out okay for now.
It's like a prize fighter. Can you take a punch? Well, you don't want to find out. And it looks like for the moment Jim Wolf can. So the warm-up toss is much for Wolf as it was for Baez. And Jim's going to look at another one. And now Nick Ahmed steps into the batter's box. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Tomas is at second. The Diamondbacks have scored 4 in the second. They are blowing out the Dodgers tonight, 8-0. And we haven't finished the second inning yet. Ahmed with a fly ball to left field. And that one as well is gone. That's the 3rd home run of the night for the Arizona Diamondbacks. For Ahmed, his 9th of the year. It is now a perfect 10-0 for Arizona. And the second inning ain't over yet.
Jim Wolf was staggered by a foul ball. The Dodgers are now staggered by their 3rd home run they've given up. And Ahmed had this act working last time we were in Arizona. His bat was alive and got a home run that series.
And here's the 18th batter of the game, Robbie Ray. He's sitting in clover. He's got a 10-0 lead to work with, and we're not finished with the second inning yet. Ray struck out in his first at-bat. 1-2. Padres have a 1-0 lead in the top of the second in San Francisco.
I think the question only is which pitch is Ray going to strike out now, and this could be this one. Oh, he fouled it. 97 with that swing. It's going to be hard to make contact.
Which pitch? Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Nick Ahmed, his 9th home run of the year.
And the only small victory is striking out the pitcher.
And he won't go quietly.
You know, the goal right now is, you don't chalk it up as a loss yet if you're the Dodgers, but you really start, if you're Don Mattingly and Rick Honeycutt, this is about managing the pitching staff now.
The 1-2. Grounded to third. Turner will throw him out, and that'll end the inning. But the Diamondbacks pick up 6 more runs with 5 more hits and lead 10-0 after 2.
happy about. Of course, an 8.5 game lead in the division. Currently, the San Francisco Giants are losing 1-0 to the San Diego Padres in San Francisco. The Dodgers, though, with that big lead, of some of their key pieces still on the shelf. Of course, Howie Kendrick still on the disabled list with that hamstring issue. Plateaued about a week ago. He was running bases today. The Dodgers hoping he can come back within the week. Yasmani Grandal still dealing with that left shoulder. He's missed the last 4 games. Hopes that he can play in this series. Swung the bat for the first time today. And Jimmy Rollins was expected to be in the lineup today. However, still dealing with that sore finger. Missed the last 3 games. Experienced some more soreness and swelling in that finger after he swung the bat the last couple of days. So guys on the mend for some of these key pieces. Kike Hernandez, Yasiel Puig still on the shelf as well, both dealing with that hamstring issue.
And they're not sure when or if Yasiel Puig or Kike Hernandez will be able to return prior to the postseason. So the Dodgers will have to go on without them. And in the meantime, we're going to have to go on without home plate umpire Jim Wolf, who took a foul tip off the mask. And at the end of the inning, Wolf left the game. Alan Porter, first base umpire, I believe has gone inside to get the equipment. This is how it all happened. Immediately, Wolf went to one knee and then to both. He would remain in for the balance of the second inning. And then between innings, Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, as well as the other 2 umpires and head trainer for the Arizona Diamondbacks, said, Jim, your night is done. And so we are awaiting Alan Porter, who will take over behind the plate. And so we're going to take a break as Alan Porter gets ready, and we'll get back to you for the top half of the third with the Diamondbacks leading 10-0. September 11th. It was here in 2001 where the World Series would be played. The Diamondbacks would eventually beat the Yankees. And one of the most memorable moments of the World Series of 2001 was when President George Bush, who had Kevlar from head to toe. The only parts of the president's body that night that was not surrounded by bulletproof material were his hands, his wrists, and his head. And under all that pressure, coming off that horrible day, America was slowly beginning to get better. He came out and threw that first pitch. I remember being on the field that night, about halfway between home plate and
third base at Yankee Stadium. And everybody was rooting for Bush to throw a strike. And he did. It was a perfect pitch. He had been warming up underneath for that moment with the Kevlar on, with Derek Jeter, who said something to the effect to the president, only Jeter would get away with that, don't blow it. He didn't. And it was here, of course, that Gonzalez with that little duck snort in the short center field of Mariano Rivera, where the Arizona Diamondbacks would win the World Series. And in that World Series, got the sense that not a whole lot of people were necessarily rooting for the Yankees in the World Series, but they were rooting for New York. And so when all that came down, and Gonzo with that fluke base hit, and the Diamondbacks would win the World Series, and that's 14 years ago. And everybody remembers where they were. Alana?
Don Mattingly saying earlier to me today that he was out in his barn in Indiana just working out on his farm and heard about what was going on in New York and Pennsylvania and D.C. and he ran back into the house and he said he was basically glued to his television set for the next 10 days just watching all of the events unfolding. I talked to A.J. Ellis about it too, and he said it was one opportunity in which baseball was able to unite a nation. Of course, they started playing baseball games again on September 17th, and of course you'll remember the New York Mets hosting the Braves at the Old Shea Stadium, and the New York Yankees played the following day on the road at the Chicago White Sox on the 18th. The Dodgers got back to playing on the 17th as well, and while you certainly baseball certainly puts things into perspective as far as what happened on September 11th, it was a moment in which the nation could come together and smile once again, guys.
On September the 17th, I did the first game back, the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves in Philadelphia. Alan Porter, now he's getting ready to go back to work. He'll take over for Jim Wolf, who took the foul tip. And in that very first game back in Philly, nobody's quite sure, is this the right time to come back or not? I remember sitting in the stands, about 1 o'clock that afternoon, it was Monday, with Scott Rowland, then the Philly third baseman. And he, like all of us, are we supposed to be here now? What are we supposed to do? And he didn't feel really good about the possibility of, the probability of playing the game that's going to continue. And the Phillies were playing the Braves in this first game. And prior to the game, I remember sitting with Harry Callis and the late Skip Carey. And we're talking, now, fellas, what do we do and how do we do this? Chris Heisey leads off for the Dodgers in the third. They trail 10-0. And Heisey takes the ball in the dirt, 1 ball, no strike. And it was Harry who said, well, just tell them what you see. And the first couple of innings, everybody, the fans were uncertain about how to act and react. The players were uncertain how to play. 1 ball, no strikes. And then in the fourth inning, never forget this, Chipper Jones is announced. And the fans in Philadelphia boo the hell out of him. I thought, we can now exhale, get back to baseball. And Heisey lines one to left, first out of the third inning. And wouldn't you know it, in that first game back, Scott Rowland, who wasn't sure if it was appropriate enough to play or not, hit 2 home runs and won the game for the Phillies. Alex Guerrero is going to pinch hit now for Baez. And then the first game back at Shea Stadium, the Braves and the Mets. And of course, Shea Stadium was command central for supplies to get down to ground zero. And the emotion of that game was memorable, palpable. Gonzalez takes inside. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That's Yimi Garcia warming up. And the things that were most memorable about that night, Diana Ross sang the national anthem. And then at the 7th inning stretch, They did New York with ground ball. Backhanded at third beautifully by Goslin, whose throw is wide. And Guerrero is aboard. So Liza Minnelli is doing New York with a dozen or so police and firemen. And they're high kicking and just trying to make joy out of obviously a very difficult situation. And there was some criticism later, was that appropriate or not? And what is appropriate after what we all collectively had gone through 14 years ago? And then to top off that unbelievable night, and now Alex Guerrero, he may have pulled up a little bit lame at first base. And Stan Conti wants to make sure he's okay, and they're looking at the hamstring. Right there.
Oh, goes to grab the left leg right there.
The left-hander. So Guerrero will likely come out. So Guerrero pinch hits, gets an infield hit, and pulls his left hamstring.
Stan Conti looked like he was kicking himself right there, just watching these nagging injuries and injuries that shut people down continue to happen. The Dodgers are snake bit in the hamstring department.
Well, Guerrero was merely pinch hitting in the third inning. And so now they just need somebody to run. I guess it's going to be Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy's not necessarily ready to throw or grip a bat, apparently. But he can run.
The thing they got to worry about with Jimmy Rollins is he heated up enough, and as your brain starts to take over, if something happens on the baseball field, you can say, hey, be careful out there, and I know you're not fully loose. But all of a sudden, the ball gets hit in the gap right here. Your brain says to go run as hard as you can.
Well, at 10-0, maybe a Sunday jog might not be such a bad idea. And he's wearing one of those oven mittens to protect his damaged digit. Justin Ruggiano. Just to finish up on that first game back at Chase Stadium, which was such an emotional game. Piazza hit the big home run. And the place went absolutely nuts. There wasn't a dry eye in that. Ruggiano struck out in his first at bat. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the third. And it is 10-0 for Arizona.
There was a close connection there, of course, with the New York Mets and ground zero, but also because, like you said, the Shea Stadium was being used as a place that they could bring all the goods and support everyone, and the Mets and the Mets management were down in the parking lot every day working.
Bobby Valentine put his heart and soul into that effort. It was known Bobby forever, of course, but that was a moment where Valentine, as a leader, took charge, and Met and Yankee players were going to ground zero as often as they possibly could. And then several days later, when the Yankees came, I was covering that one as well, and there was a moment that, again, now here we are 14 years later, that I personally won't ever forget. Just before the game, and the Mets had done such an unbelievable job, a line drive foul, that George Steinbrenner said, we have to do this even. He was competitive even post 9/11. And so I can't tell you how many hundreds of police and firemen who were in their dress uniforms with the white caps and the gloves and all of that. And we're in the dugout. And Lee Mazzilli, again, he's a New York guy. And for those who grew up in New York, 9/11 was especially personal. This was hard. And Mazzilli was with several of the policemen, and everybody is hugging and shaking hands and so on. And Mazzilli is hugging this policeman who has just broken down in tears. And I'll never forget that a man in a baseball uniform was holding up and supporting a man in a police uniform. And at that moment, you begin to understand how important baseball is to the fabric of this country. That whole week, from 9/11 until we finally started playing again, you got a sense of how important baseball is to the fabric of this country. And baseball was the first thing that brought us all back together again and began to suture that wound. So pardon me for rattling on a little bit here, but that was quite something 14 years ago. This is the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Ray to Ruggiano. And he works out a walk.
Well, if the Dodgers are going to limp back into this game down 10-0, first and second, one out, it was a good start. Jose Peraza, Justin Turner, and Adrian Gonzalez on their way up.
Torrey would used to tell his teams when they were getting blown out, take small bites. And at 10-0, only one at a time. Now Castillo's gone out to settle down Robbie Ray, and the last thing in the world the Diamondbacks want to have to do is get their bullpen up with a 10-0 lead in the third inning.
Well, Robbie Ray will give you some free passes. One this inning before, a hit batter and a free pass. So he'll set the table for you. Just need some of the big blows like the 3 home runs the Diamondbacks have gotten.
Jose Peraza bounced to second in his first at-bat. And is 1-1. Peraza making his 5th start, and he has missed past several games with a hamstring issue.
The interesting thing about the Dodger lineup is you get into a game like this with the regulars out there, some of these young kids are the kids that would come in and spell them to make sure they get rested in a game that's out. So Ruggiano, Peraza, Seager, Heisey, those kind of guys would be in this game because it's 10-0. Don Magna would get the other guys out and rest them, but these are the guys that started.
Again, with the luxury of a 8.5 game lead, 9 in the loss column with 23 to play, the Dodgers could do that. There's a strike. 2-2. Padres hitting in the top of the third, tied with the Giants at 1. Justin Turner is on deck. Now it's 3-2.
Not a comfortable feeling for Robbie Ray on the mound with his propensity to walk people. So 3-2. He's got to be looking to go right down Broadway.
And Peraza is hoping he does precisely that. Or out here be Camelback. Into right. And Tomas is there. That's the second out of the third. So Justin Turner stepping in, and Turner a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Gone final in the Bronx. Toronto 11-5 over the Yankees. It is now a 2.5 game lead for the Blue Jays. Turner fouls it back. It's 0-1. Texas shut out Oakland. The Angels 3-0 over the Astros. Houston hitting in the top of the third in Anaheim. This is essentially this weekend the last stand for the Angels. No balls, a strike, and 2 out in the top of the third. One ball and 1 strike. We'll be back with you tomorrow. First pitch at 5:10. Mike Bolsinger against Ruby De La Rosa. Bolsinger used to pitch here, and of course De La Rosa used to pitch for the Dodgers. 2-1. And then on Sunday, Zach Greinke and Patrick Corbin. And then this most unusual 10-game road trip comes to an end. 3 in San Diego. Most of the fellas drove home after the game on Sunday. Then commuted back and forth Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Anaheim. Sleeping in their own bed. Some stayed at the hotel in Anaheim. Off day yesterday. And now a 3-game series in Arizona. How civilized.
Feels a little bit like spring training, a 10-day period in spring training. 3 away, but it's the White Sox, so you're really home.
Right. It's a far cry from the 34 games in 34 days this season. Here's a 2-1. Outside corner for a strike, and it's 2-2.
I guess if Robbie Ray gets through this inning with a 0, it's going to be considered effectively wild. Pitch tracks catches this corner right here. He's been high and away to righties. 95-mile-an-hour spray chart has not been good, but he's still got a 0.
2-2. And now the count is full.
The runners will be off and running with 3 and 2 out, and fortunately for Jimmy Rollins, not getting a long time to warm up out there at second base. He can take a nice smooth jog.
On 3-2, we'll do it again.
Couple more foul balls and Jimmy Rollins will be warmed up.
He's gotten his cardio in just in the last 3 pitches. Yet he's merely pinch running. Still has problems with the right index finger, the knuckle. Go ahead first slide. Again the 3-2, and we'll do it one more time. This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat upcoming.
When you're down with a hand injury and you are an everyday player, a lot of times the training staff tries to simulate a day's work out there, even though you're not allowed to use your hands. So Jimmy's getting a little simulation right now.
So this would be a sim game, would it?
For him, sim running, breaking a sweat, get your legs stretched out.
So while Rollins is on the shelf, Seager has taken over ably at short, and the 3-2 inside and low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Well, this would be more than a small bite if Adrian could hit it over the fence here. Get the Dodgers right back in this with a lot of innings to play. I know 10-4 doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot better than 10-0, and it still would be the 3rd inning.
Well, we're talking about Ray in the open of the broadcast tonight. He's been his own worst enemy this year. See what he's done over the course of his career with the bases loaded. That Ray's been his own worst enemy. Walks too many guys. Pitch count has been killing him. The caveat tonight is he's got 10 runs to work with, and he misses outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Adrian, his first at bat, flew out to center. He can reach the fences in any part of this field with his power and the way the ball's carrying here tonight.
He has 20 career home runs here at Chase Field. As he takes a strike, 1-1.
Breaking ball for a ball, fastball for a strike. Really good pitcher's pitch to get back in the count right there.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 out.
That's the one Adrian wants back right there, shaking his head a little bit. He has enjoyed his time here against the D-backs. 147 games, got the 300 average. The home runs are up there for 147 games because that's almost a season. So 31-102 is pretty good.
Now let's see what he can do on 1 and 2. 2 out in the top of the third.
See the grimace right there, and Adrian shaking his head at himself. He's had 2 really good hittable fastballs. Might have found his way into now a breaking ball that he might have to fight off or make sure is a ball.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Now it's 2 and 2.
Ray was going to throw a breaking ball. It was going to be there because he had a chance to throw one for a ball if he wanted to, but he's not going to get to a point where he wants to get to 3 and 2. This is an action pitch right here, and I think Adrian's got to be sitting heater, one of those ones that he's fouled off here.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. So here in the third, the Dodgers have an infield hit, 2 walks, and a pulled hamstring. And Robbie Ray at 35 pitches. Thrown as many here in the third as he did in the first 2 innings combined. Dodgers and Angels a couple of nights ago played 9 innings, 3 hours and 52 minutes. We are on a pace to break it.
If it's a W, it's worth it.
A lot of folks came a long way to watch the Dodgers play. Here's a 2-2. Up the middle. Ahmed has it, and he will throw out Gonzalez, and that's going to do it. So the Dodgers, with a hit, 2 walks, leave 3. We go to the bottom of the third. Your Southern California Toyota dealers. The time is short, but the savings are big at Toyota's Clearance Countdown, going on now. And by Dollar Shave Club. Shave time, shave money. As we go to the bottom half of the third inning, that is not a typo. Arizona 10-0. And we begin the third inning with the top third of the Diamondback order. So the first three guys in their lineup will have 3 at-bats in the first 3 innings. And here is the third Dodger pitcher of the night, Yimi Garcia. Yeah, it's been one of those nights. Garcia's 50th appearance.
Yimi's not pitching for his supper, but there's kind of a tryout camp in the bullpen right now, I think, to get onto the postseason roster. There's a lot of options down there. And I'll tell you what, if I'm a youngster and I've contributed to this club, I want to play in the postseason. If they get there, I want to be part of that roster.
Well, they got to earn it. And the bullpen has been an issue a good portion of the year. The bullpen ERA is 13th in the league. The starters are second best. It's getting from here to there that's been the issue.
And they're pretty much all here. All the candidates are here. And down there in that pen tonight, there's 11 of them to start the night. And the guys, Rick Honeycutt and Don Mattingly, right now are probably plotting this out by way of when do we think we're going to be pinch hitting, who can go multiple innings. And they're all going to have to be ready pretty much all at once.
Pollock skies to short right. And Slyke, and it's an over-the-shoulder catch made by Adrian Gonzalez.
We were down there in the bullpen. We saw J.P. Howell running. We saw Juan Nicasio stretching out. Guys are all moving around because depending on who the batter is, depending on what the situation is, it's not like, oh, I'll start getting loose around the 5th. That's when the bullpen will get called on. Now it could be anybody at any time other than Kenley Jansen.
Well, it's a matter now of getting through the next 6 innings somehow and hope that the offense can make a game out of it. Ender Inciarte is 1 for 2. In fact, here we are. It's the bottom half of the third inning, and every Diamondback hitter's got at least one except the pitcher.
I was a part of one of these games, I think, Charlie. I actually started one like this, and I wasn't real good.
Looped into short left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit in front of Ruggiano.
I remember a game back in 2000. I think I went shorter than 2 innings. It was the end of my career. I was 40-something years old. Oh, there it is. First time to allow a team to bat around in each of the first 2 innings since April 19, 2000. I started that one.
I'm glad I can share this moment with you.
Did you notice I cut the legs out from under that graphic by prefacing to myself? I had to figure out a way to get into that one.
More importantly, out of it.
Well, I got out of it. I was retired by that June.
Van Slyke with the catch.
That happens to you in April, you retire in June.
Riding high in April and shot down in June, were you?
Yeah, that was it. His body wore out.
That's life. Now with 2 out, Paul Goldschmidt. Or I'm sorry, this is Wellington Castillo. Castillo is homered and bounced out. Castillo, the home run was his 19th of the year. He's had quite a season. Now with 46 runs batted in. Giants still batting in the bottom of the third. They have a 3-1 lead over Cashner in San Francisco with Jake Peavy on the hill. Inside. Three balls and no strikes with 2 out. There's a strike. 3-1. Goslin is on deck. Angels 3-0 over the Astros. Top of the fourth down in Anaheim. Foul ball.
JL stepping out in front of home plate right there. 3-2, 2 out. Telling the infielders we're going to first base. Play a little deeper now. There's no sense the ball's not going to second.
3-2 and 2 out. That one is well hit to left. And it's going to be tracked down by Ruggiano. That's going to end the inning. No runs and 1 base hit. We'll head to the fourth. The scoreboard totals are correct. Very same Diamondbacks. The first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Dodger sleeved blanket presented by SoCal Honda dealers. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions.
I needed that blanket back in April of 2000 just to hide under when I gave up all those runs against the Astros.
By the way, that's a very good look.
I posed for that up in our media offices at Dodger Stadium, and then they superimposed me with a blue background. That blanket fits a 6'3" person absolutely perfectly.
Van Slyke with a liner to left, and that's the first out of the fourth.
Anyone shorter than 6'3" receiving that on September 21st is going to need to get it hemmed.
Or use it as a parachute.
So you just lay on your couch, it won't trip you.
1 out and nobody on, and here's Corey Seager. Walked in his first at-bat. Upstairs and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. One and one. As you see, home plate umpire Alan Porter has taken over. Jim Wolf started the game behind the plate. Took a foul tip off the mask. Knocked him to his knees. Finished out the second inning and then would come out of the game. So we're playing with 3 umpires now, with Porter at first. Behind the plate, Brian O'Nora is at first base, and Mark Ripperger is at third. Jim Wolf, who is Randy's older brother, getting attention. Seager with a base hit into left field. We mentioned earlier, he doesn't care if it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher.
7 out of 8 games that he has played in at the big league level, gotten a hit. 4 doubles, 4 RBIs. You project that over a season, that's a lot of doubles. Some 90 doubles, some 90 RBIs. So the young man has not only come up here and shown that he can play, but he's definitely making an impact.
More on Seager from Alana.
Well, guys, today Baseball America announced its All-Stars for the 2015 season, naming Austin Barnes, the backup catcher here, and Corey Seager as AAA's catcher and shortstop, respectively. The publication also named Seager its AAA Player of the Year.
Hard to argue. And his first couple of weeks in the big leagues, he has been everything that they had forecast. A.J. Ellis takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A.J. hit a sharp line drive to first. It turned into a double play with Corey Seager over there. Almost impossible to not get doubled up on that play.
1-2 to Ellis. He's been playing quite a bit with that left shoulder. Barking and biting it. Yasmani Grandal. But Ellis has really hit the ball well the last couple of months. Into left, but right it in Ciarte for the second out.
Yasmani shoulder biting and A.J. Ellis getting bit. 2 line drives, nothing to show for it. That's a long night for a catcher when it's 10-0 and you're putting the fingers down. You take pride in that and the preparation of your pitchers. A.J. will keep plugging away.
Chris Heisey coming up. He lined to left in his first at-bat. 10-zip, 2 out, top of the 4th. Heisey has to jackknife out of the way. The pride of Solon, Iowa. Scott Schebler on deck. But he is not going to hit this inning as Heisey bounces to short, and that's that. No runs and 1 hit after 3.5. D-backs 10-0. Baseball family as we remember those who lost their lives and who lost loved ones on September 11th, 2001. We pay tribute to them and to the men and women who serve our country as we honor a pledge made 14 years ago today. We shall not forget. As we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, Jim Johnson will get some work in. Yimi Garcia went 1 inning, no runs and a hit. Alex Wood went an inning and 2/3, 62 pitches, 6 earned runs, 8 hits, a strikeout and a walk, 2 home runs. Pedro Baez, a third of an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, and a home run. So here's Phil Gosselin. He is 1 for 2. Two balls and no strikes. Jim Johnson has struggled since coming to the Dodgers, but he gets Gosselin for the first out here in the bottom half of the 4th. We have an update on Alex Guerrero, who pinch hit and pulled up lame. What you got, Alana?
He pulled up lame, guys, in that 3rd inning. Everyone thought it perhaps could be a hamstring issue, the injury du jour for the Dodgers. It appears that it is a left calf strain, and of course, day to day.
Aren't we all?
That is a very high calf.
Yeah. That ain't the calf he's rubbing. But who's to say?
There is a thing called referred pain.
And we refer you to some medical book to explain it for us.
You can hurt something, and it can hurt somewhere else.
Well, that's the first out of the 4th. And Chris Owings is the batter with the strike. Owings tonight. He's got 2 hits and an RBI. 4 for the Diamondbacks in the 1st, then 6 in the 2nd. And Johnson is the 4th Dodger pitcher of the night.
You can have laughers in 2 different directions. You can be the winner of a laugher, and you can be the loser of a laugher. And easy to turn the page when you're the loser.
Again, this is something that obviously the Dodgers don't want to have to get used to, but the reality is after tonight 22 games remain. And if the Giants, they lead 3-1 over the Padres in the 4th. Giants win tonight. The lead will be 7.5. There's Turner. Low throw, and Gonzalez can't dig it out. So a Turner throwing error. We get so spoiled watching Gonzalez play at first base on those short hops.
Justin gets in front of it well, gets good timing and rhythm over there, just comes up a little short. And Adrian, you are right, Charlie. We do get spoiled. He doesn't miss many of those, and he has picked up plenty of an infielder that has played with him with being able to pick it.
4 Gold Gloves for Adrian Gonzalez. Yasmani Tomas has doubled and an infield out with a fielder's choice. So Tomas with a couple of RBIs tonight. Tomas in his first 68 games this year is hitting .316. In his last 39 games, he's hit .217. But he's 1 for 2 tonight and takes a strike. You remember way back in spring, he couldn't hit a lick. He was originally a third baseman. He can't play third base. They put him into the outfield, and then they said, let's just send him down for a little while, see if he can get his act together. Well, he did. Although the second half of the season has been more of a challenge than he would have liked. All in all, .283 in his first year.
AJ working hard, getting beat up back there, not showing anything. Got it off the bare hand right there. Pounces on it.
Nick Ahmed, who's 2 for 2 with a home run, is on deck.
Watching AJ take it off that bare hand right there just reminds me of how tough and how good a teammate he is. You know, he talked about at the beginning of the year, I might have lost my starting job, but I didn't want to be a starting catcher. I want to be a world champion catcher. I don't care if it's number 1 or number 2.
The 2-2 to Tomas.
Everything he has battled this year offensively to come back and get hot right now. Watching the line drives tonight, nothing to show for it. But boy, he has been a great teammate, a great leader, even from the second position behind Yasmani as an all-star.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle. Past a diving Seager. Owings on his way to third. So Tomas is 2 for 3.
Breaking ball that he stayed back on. Curveball just up a little bit, breaks sharp, but stays up. Gives him a chance to kind of stay on it with just one hand. If the ball's down, the swing is finished, and he tops it. Since the ball's up, the one hand, you're able to square it up a little bit more and squeak it by Corey Seager.
Now Nick Ahmed, who has singled and homered. Scored 1, knocked in 2. Takes outside at low, 1 ball and no strikes. Owings and Tomas, the runners at third and first. In the right. That'll drop in. Owings will score. Tomas is on his way to third. He'll be held there. A double for Nick Ahmed, who's 3 for 3. It is now 11-0 Arizona.
He's inside this ball real well. Jim Johnson pulls it, or trying to get the ball inside so he can't extend his arms. He throws it to the outer half, and Ahmed slices it down the right field line. Runners move up easy as soon as this ball gets by Scott Van Slyke out there, and Karam's off the fence.
Now Robbie Ray. He swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Ray is 0 for 2, and he's the only Diamondback without a hit tonight. 11 runs and 13 hits for Arizona. Ellis will throw him out. 2 out.
Center fielder.
Here's A.J. Pollock. 2 out in the bottom half of the 4th, and this is Pollock's 4th at bat.
This is not slow pitch softball either.
Oof.
Yeah, this is hard to take. Hard for the Dodgers, hard for everybody to watch.
Pollock takes outside.
Mama said there'd be days like this.
The Shirelles.
We gotta respond. It's not an if this is going to happen, it's what are you going to do when it happens.
Oh, Jim Johnson. It's coming to Los Angeles. It hasn't worked out the way he had envisioned. This is his 16th appearance, and he's got an ERA since coming to the Dodgers of 12.41. One ball, 1 strike, and 2 out. Slowly hit to third. In comes Turner, and that's going to do it. Diamondbacks come up with a run and a couple of hits. Leave 2. We go to the 5th. And they lead the Dodgers 11-0. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com and by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. Good crowd on hand on this Friday night in the desert. The home team put a whooping to the Dodgers. They about hit them 13-2, outscored them 11-0. And here is Scott Schebler, who is pinch hitting for Jim Johnson. Scott off to a terrific start. Hit the leadoff home run on Wednesday night. First time that the Dodgers had consecutive leadoff home runs since Carl Ferrollo did it by himself in 1951 against the Cubs. On Tuesday night, Ruggiano with the leadoff home run, and then Schebler wasting no time. First pitch of the game, hit one off Garrett Richards. This time he rolls it to first, backhanded, tough play, and Schebler is tagged out by Robbie Ray.
Schebler flies down the line, smells the hit. A late break by Ray from the mound, and his only rescue is the tag. Schebler's got him beat to the bag if it was just feet, but he gets him on the left shoulder with the reach. If he's a right-handed pitcher, maybe he gets to the bag earlier, beats him with his feet, but a left-handed pitcher, the gloves on that side.
And that's the first out of the fifth inning. Justin Ruggiano takes under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. He has struck out and he has walked.
It's one of the rare 3-1 with a tag.
And that one is popped into short right. Yasmani Tomas. 2 out. Dodger fans on Wednesday, September the 23rd. Vin Scully bobblehead night, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance get one courtesy of Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. In case you haven't heard, Vin's coming back. It's been in all the papers.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And we are so glad.
Jose Peraza has bounced to second and flied to right.
Was it Jimmy Kimball that
Kimball
dropped the cue cards?
One at a time. One and one with 2 out. And it's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Babe Ruth of our business. We will honor him with a bobblehead night. Second baseman Owings. That's that. Dodgers go quietly in the 5th after 4.5. Scoreboard totals are indeed correct. Dodgers have made some changes. Scott Van Slyke, greeted by Dave McKay, comes in from right field to take over at first base. Adrian Gonzalez has been given the rest of the night off. Scott Schebler will take over in right field, having just pinch hit for Jim Johnson. Johnson is out of the game, and here is Joel Peralta making his 27th appearance. So this is one of those nights where, in basketball parlance, they're going to empty the bench. Everybody gets a chance to play, get a little trophy. We participated tonight, and tomorrow we'll start anew.
It's not quite garbage time yet, but it's getting close. Dodgers still have a chance and some outs and innings to come back, but the time is getting there. 12 more outs. Try and get 11 runs.
No balls and a strike to Inciarte. So Peralta is the 5th Dodger pitcher of the night. And Joel has been battling a pain in the neck most of the year, on and off. Inciarte, Goldschmidt, and Castillo to bat for the Diamondbacks, who scored 4 in the first and 6 in the second. And that gets past Seager. A leadoff hit for Inciarte. That's his 3rd hit of the night.
I got to believe that's the first time in his career he's had 3 hits in the first 5 innings. A lot of at-bats and a lot of hits. Ball up right there, and he finds a way to get it by Corey Seager.
They were shading him to pull, and he went the other way. Now here's Goldschmidt, who's walked, homered, scored 2, and knocked in 2. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Giants hitting in the bottom of the 5th. They lead Cashner and the Padres 3-1 at AT&T Park. Over the last couple of years, the Dodgers ball gets past Ellis, and Inciarte will go to second base. Over the past couple of years, the Dodgers have really enjoyed playing the Diamondbacks, having won 31 of their last 41 meetings. And tonight, the Diamondbacks are making them pay. Last year, the Dodgers last year they were 15-4 against Arizona, 9-3 this year. 1 ball, 1 strike to Goldschmidt. At 317, taking high, 2-1. Good crowd, 35,615 on this Friday night. D-backs are 3 games under 500 at home this year, and 3 under 500 on the road. But they have made great strides in turning a franchise around that had really been struggling. Chip Hale doing a great job in his first season. On 3-1. Strike on the corner, 3-2.
Couple of good pitchers pitches. The last 2 pitches right there by Joel.
Wellington Castillo is on deck. Inciarte is at second base. And now here's a 3-2 from Peralta to Goldschmidt. Ball strike 3, and Goldschmidt knew it.
Couple of fastballs out there, and then get the 3-2 and pull the string a little bit. 81, catch that outside corner out of his hand, looks like a ball away. Tails right back, little split finger.
First down of the 5th, and here's Castillo. Hit a 3-run home run in the first inning. And that was the beginning of the end of the Dodgers for the Union.
That ball was launched. Hit on the trajectory of a long fly ball that turned out to be a really long fly ball.
Went from long to really long. It was 3-0 before. And another one that gets past Ellis. And going to third is Inciarte.
AJ did just get beat up out there. We lost Jim Wolf to a foul ball. Some concussion symptoms. AJ hit their throwing shoulder and now throwing bicep, and his hand have all taken a beating on multiple pitches.
Austin Barnes is on the bench. AJ, I'm thinking, hey, what about the kid?
I got to believe Austin's going to be in there sooner or later if AJ's playing tomorrow, but they don't want to take him out too early and risk an injury to somebody else.
Slice to right. And Schebler is going to get it. This is the first time Schebler has ever played inside Chase Field. And it looked it.
Yeah, he didn't see that ball. The roof is closed here. And he went over there like that's in the stands, kept looking at it, but then lost it at the end.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Phil Goslin is on deck. And the 1-2 on the way. Or AJ.
He's not quitting. That chest protector is getting a workout, and sometimes the part that's not protected is getting a workout. That one finally got some padding.
Chest protector turned out to be a pretty good investment. Uh-oh. That one sounded long and loud and foul. Castillo didn't miss another long-distance home run by much.
Oh. This one would have been a no-doubter if it had been fair. That was out of here in a hurry. Ball's up, the ball's in, the ball's crushed, the ball's foul. See ball the whole way, it's fair. If it disappears behind the foul pole like that, it's foul.
And after all that, he's down on strikes. Second out of the 5th.
Only one that makes it fair on that replay down the line, if it disappears, is if it happens to deflect off the foul pole. Came right back with the ball that he blistered foul, but a better pitch, one that broke down and in more. That's what they were looking for on the first one.
Now Goslin is 1 for 3 and a run scored.
Castillo approves that pitch.
I'm not sure he approved it, but he respected it.
He did that too.
Goslin on 1-0. Takes a strike. So the Arizona Diamondbacks came into the game tonight having scored 622 runs. Second in the National League. 1,294 hits, the most in the National League. They've been flexing their muscles against Dodger pitching tonight. So this is a team that, looking ahead to 2016, feeling pretty good about themselves, and the Giants scored a couple of more in the fifth. One and two to Goslin. And that's going to do it. Peralta strikes out the side. So we will go to the sixth inning. Goslin caught looking. .76. Dodgers and D-backs will wrap it up beginning tomorrow with Bolsinger and De La Rosa at a little past 5. Sunday afternoon at 1:10, Greinke and Patrick Corbin. And then the Dodgers come home and will entertain the Rockies for 3 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Next Thursday is an off day. And then the Pirates come in next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 with the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers head out on their final road trip of the year. 3 in Colorado, 4 in San Francisco, and the final 3 games of the regular season. The Padres on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. In fact, it'll be the Padres with whom the Dodgers open the 2016 season in San Diego. A lot's going to happen between now and then, beginning with the arrival of Enrique Burgos. Robbie Ray went 5 innings, no runs, and 2 hits. Justin Turner has struck out and walked tonight. 11 runs and 14 hits for the Diamondbacks, no runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. And a spoiler alert. Dodgers trailing 11-0. The largest comeback win the Dodgers have had in more than 100 years took place 65 years ago. They were down 8-0 in the 8th inning and beat the Cardinals 9-8.
So you're saying we still have a chance?
I'm saying that in 1950 they were down 8-0 and won 9-8. 3 balls and a strike to Turner.
That's what you're saying, and you're sticking to it.
Just the facts, man.
We do the rest of the broadcasting cliches.
Here's the 3-1.
Movie lines.
A leadoff walk to Turner.
Pinch hitting for Joel Peralta, number 31, Jock Peterson.
Now Jock Peterson's going to pinch hit. Jock first pitch swinging, fouls it to the left. Goslin got a long way to go to make the catch. That's the first out of the sixth.
First baseman Scott Van Slyke.
It was Ahmed who had the long run over. With one out, Van Slyke stepping in. And it takes high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. And a chopper to third. Fair ball. Quite a play turned in by Goslin. Van Slyke is retired. There's 2 out.
Goslin showing off his arm. Has been hot with the bat, but with our Morongo slow-mo cam replay, you can't slow this gun down. He fired this ball from foul territory. He gets over there in a hurry, even in slow motion. That Morongo slow-mo cam replay was brought to you by them and that gentleman right there.
Corey Seager with 2 out, and Turner leading off second base. Now off to the left, and it's 0-1. What years did you pitch in Cleveland?
95, 96, and 97.
We did a game. ESPN. 14 years ago. Sunday night game. The Indians came from behind to beat the Mariners 15-14. They trailed by 12 runs in that game. Seattle had a 12-0 lead.
In what inning?
Third.
Wow.
And Hobart Cabrera, broken bat. Single in the 11th. That was the most improbable of improbable comebacks. So, 11-0's a bag of shells. 2-1 to Seager. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There were about 20,000 people there that night. There was that fella John Adams. Remember John Adams? He was the guy with the bass drum in the back.
Oh yeah, in the back row.
He's been there forever.
Yeah, he was there when I was there.
He was there in the 70s.
Yeah, he was there a long time.
He was there back when it was Municipal Stadium. They draw 80,000 on opening day and 4,500 a night the rest of the season.
The mistake on the lake.
He would be he would be in the back with that godforsaken bass drum. Boom, boom, boom. Every night for 40 years ago. Now 3-2 to Seager. Burgos deals inside a low ball field. That was one of those. Got some good news and some bad news. Good news is, hey, we got free tickets to see the Indians. The bad news is you have to sit next to John Adams, pounding the bass drum for 3.5 hours. So that when they moved to Jacobs Field, they gave him 2 seats in perpetuity where he could beat his drum. He could bang the drum slowly. Yeah. Nice. A.J. Ellis with 2 on and 2 out. Borgo steals. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
I'd like to have been there that first night when he brought the drum. Been the ticket taker.
Sir, you're going to have. But you know, the nice thing was when he was doing it, there was nobody around him for about a half a mile. He was all by himself in the back.
Sir, you're okay with the drum, ma'am? Can I look in your purse?
Well, it was long before you had to worry about security, that's for sure. You know, the other thing was, and I may be wrong, but I think he met his wife and proposed there, above or beneath the bass drum. Now, that's romance. 2-0 to A.J. Ellis. Which gets past Castillo, and the runners will advance. Turner to third, and Seager to second.
Wonder if he played at his own wedding.
Slow dance. Diamondbacks with 4 in the first, 6 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. Mike Harkey, pitching coach.
He's tired of watching balls. You got plenty of runs on the board, 11 runs. You got 10 of them in 2 innings, and he's still got guys that are walking and hitting batters. So he's a little perturbed.
3-1.
There's always something you're trying to improve on. Robbie Ray walked too many, but got the Dodgers out. Looks like he's grinding on something.
3-1, second and third. Ellis. Into right center. Pollock is there. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. After 5.5, Arizona 11-0. Southern California Kia dealers. Visit mysocalkia.com to learn more. And by Flex Alert. This summer, the power is in your hands. Visit flexalert.org. Ian Thomas is now on in relief. And the Dodgers have given Justin Turner the rest of the night off. Austin Barnes has taken over at third. Ian Thomas has taken over the pitching responsibilities.
Number 58, Ian Thomas.
Thomas 10-5 at a 4.59 ERA and 21 starts at AAA Oklahoma City this year. And this is his 9th appearance.
Leading off for the D-backs, second baseman Chris Owings.
And there's Austin Barnes. wherever you may be. Number one, how many different starting pitchers have the Dodgers used this year?
I know one time it was 16.
16 is correct, sir. Now we get to the interesting part.
Okay.
Can we name them?
Oh, boy. Kershaw, Greinke, Anderson, McCarthy, Ryu never pitched. I don't even know what I'm up to now.
Oh.
Joe Whelan.
We haven't gotten to the fun part yet. Rick Honeycutt has had to master and mentor all. Chris Owings leading it off.
Brett Anderson, of course, I think I said him.
Well, one of the 16 started tonight.
Of course, Alex Wood, yes. Matt Latos.
1 ball, 1 strike to Owings.
Now we're getting to the fun part.
Okay. Carlos Frias.
Casio.
Thomas, who's out there now. Whelan, you mentioned, we saw the other day. This is the hard. Jimmy Garcia started.
Oh, wow, he did. That's right.
Brandon Beachy.
Well,
he's here for a grande cup of coffee.
Oh, I know one now. It just came. Scott Baker.
Very good. Very good.
When you said Beachy, the bees.
So Mattingly's had his plate full this year. David Huff.
Did Daniel Colon? Did he start?
No.
He just
now in Oakland. All right, now, okay. We have put together for this little test paper.
Oh, my gosh.
How many did you get right at home in your media room?
We didn't say Zach Lee yet. We would have got that sooner or later. David Huff, though. Scott Baker. I think everybody would have got everybody on the left. It's the right side that would have fooled some people.
Some. All.
Including. Wow.
16 different starters. And the Dodgers are 21 games over 500, 8.5 in front of the Giants. From deep in the hole, Seager got him. Here's Juan Tomas thrown out by Corey Seager from deep in the hole. Little question about the power of his arm.
This is the Arco top tier replay, and this is a top tier play, and he's got an outstanding baseball clock. There is no panic in that move right there. There could be some speeded up right there, but no, I got enough hose, and I know how fast the runner is. It's a pretty good clock. Got it right by about 6 inches.
Now there's 2 out, and Nick Ahmed coming up. 1 ball and no strikes. Out of western Massachusetts, right on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border, right around Springfield. Needs a triple. Singled in the first inning, doubled in the 4th, and homered in the 2nd inning. Ball, a strike, and 2 out. Aaron Hill, the last D-back, to go for the cycle. The 2-1 is foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 years ago. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Ahmed just got a piece of it.
I was thinking about next spring training when Rick Honeycutt and Don Mattingly talk to all the pitchers and possible starters, and they'll be able to say, you all might start for us this year. They have used a lot of guys.
2-2 with 2 out. Now it's 3-2 to Nick Ahmed.
Those 16 starters, it all started with the injuries to McCarthy and Ryu. 40% of your rotation goes down and you're still in first place. They've manipulated the roster and done a great job.
4 starts for McCarthy and none for Ryu. And now the 3-2. Base hit into the left field corner. Nick Ahmed is 4 for 4. And he's got a home run, a single, and 2 doubles tonight.
Paul Goldschmidt over the years has been a Dodger killer, but Nick Ahmed in the last couple series has been turned into a Dodger killer. Austin Barnes comes in for Justin Turner. That's just out of his reach there for that second double by Ahmed.
Number 72, Peter O'Brien.
Ahmed this year with the 4 for 4 performance tonight is 15 for 43. This is a 218 hitter we're talking about. Pete O'Brien, big young slugger. Would like to find a position for him because when he hits him real long. 6'3", 215. One ball and 1 strike. This game's been a blowout since the middle of the second inning. 11-0. Ian Thomas, the 6th Dodger pitcher of the night. O'Brien in AAA this year, 26 home runs, 107 runs batted in, with 35 doubles, and a PCL All-Star. He came over from the Yankees in the trade deadline deal in 2014 that would send Martin Prado to New York. Now the 1-2 from Thomas. That's a base hit, and Ahmed comes around to score, and the Diamondbacks have an even dozen.
Peter O'Brien swings the bat a lot like Paul Goldschmidt. That first hit goes off the field and will be a souvenir here for him a long time. The batting stance like Goldschmidt, got a swing where he likes the low pitch like Goldschmidt, and I think his parents right there are a little happy.
A little? Well, we saw Corey Seager in his first hit in San Diego. Jeff and Jody, his dad and mom were there. Of course, they'd already gone through that drill with Kyle Seager. They're getting used to that sort of thing. What a wonderful night it is for the O'Brien family, and certainly it was for the Seager family. Now A.J. Pollock, who is a meager 1 for 4. Just has one of the 16 hits for Arizona. Vic Ahmed's got 4 of them. And Ciarte, who is on deck, has 3 of them. Into center field. And that's Heisler. And that's that. For the 6th, Arizona tacks on another. We'll go to the 7th. D-backs 12-0. SNLA Data Strong Fan for a chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hello to Alana Gray. Bunch of changes now for the Arizona Diamondbacks, beginning with their new pitcher, Stites.
Defensive changes for the D-backs.
Matt Stites, his 7th appearance. You're at 6 1/4. He's going to get some work.
Moving from left field to center field, number 5.
Pete O'Brien, who pinch hit,
number 4,
is now in left field.
23, Oscar Hernandez, and now pitching number 37, Matt.
And Ciarte, who is in left field, moves to center field.
Leading off for Los Angeles,
New catcher
Chris
for
Lacey.
Arizona is Hernandez. Is this Phoenix or Glendale? There's a strike, 0-1 to Chris Heisler. Oscar Hernandez is the new catcher. And Jamie Romack at first base, who spent a little bit of time with the Dodgers. And Heisler fouls it back. 0-2. Padres are hitting in the top of the 7th, and the Giants are beating them up 5-1. Heisler tonight is 0 for 2. He's now 0 for 3. First out of the 7th inning. Now Scott Schebler.
Scott Schebler.
For those of you old enough to remember, Scott Schebler is a spitting image of Greg Nettles. Puff. Swings and misses, 0-1.
If Scott Schebler has a career like Greg Nettles, he'll have had a really good one.
Yes, indeed. What a great defensive third baseman he was. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh. Ruggiano on deck. Now the 1-1. High and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. Stice began the year on the disabled list with a bad elbow. Was reinstated on the 1st of June and spent the balance of the year 23 appearances at AAA with a 3.86 ERA. Third Arizona pitcher of the night. Diamondbacks had lost 9 of 12 to the Dodgers this year, and tonight they are paying back with interest. Hernandez takes a foul tip off his mask.
We've already lost home plate umpire Jim Wolf to a foul tip. Now Hernandez getting one off the hockey style mask. And that was square, right between the eyes.
Three and 2 to Schebler with Ruggiano on deck. Scott's from a little town, Solon, Iowa, pretty much on the banks of the Mississippi, between Iowa City and Cedar Rapids and Davenport, eastern part of the state. Down on strikes. Second out of the 7th. And here comes Ruggiano. 0 for 2 and a walk tonight.
Left fielder Justin Ruggiano.
Looks like a night the Dodgers are going to want to forget. They're not going to forget the lead they have on the Giants and the equity they've got there, but this 12-0 score is going to sting, and then it's going to be forgotten.
There's a strike, 0-1. Strike out, a walk, and he flied to right. Justin Ruggiano grounds it foul, and it's 0-2.
You know, you hear that saying, I gave away an at-bat, or he gave away that at-bat. Oh, with these young guys in September, and even in a game that's 12-0, they don't give away anything. They are trying to impress. They're trying to grind.
On 0-2. Down goes Ruggiano. 1, 2, 3. So we have arrived at the 7th inning stretch. It is, of course, September the 11th. And, of course, this is a day we will never forget. And on this night, we will honor America.
With the sake of God Bless America.
Summary. This game was over early. A 4-run first inning, a 6-run second. Wellington Castillo started off the damage with a 3-run shot in the first. Goldschmidt a 2-run shot in the second. Nick Ahmed a triple shy of the cycle. 12-zip. Diamondbacks out hit the Dodgers 16-2. And Inciarte leads it off against Ian Thomas and takes a strike, and it's 0-1. If this was a fight, they would have tossed in the towel, or the referee would have waved the arms and said, another day, fellas, but it's not.
That's it.
So Ian Thomas in his second inning of relief. That's Schebler, and that's the first out of the seventh.
Mercifully, that line drive was right at him.
First baseman, Jamie Romack.
Jamie Romack, his first at-bat. Goldschmidt's night is done, so they've emptied the benches, and there are plenty of people to call upon. Diamondbacks have 35 players in uniform, the Dodgers 33. Again, this is one of those rules that at some point Major League Baseball is going to have to say, hey, wait a second. We play 5 months with 25 men, a certain style and strategy. Now suddenly in the 6th month, when games are, for some teams, vitally important, the rules change. And we saw the other night, if memory serves, the Angels used 9 pitchers, the Dodgers used 7. And it's gotten to the point where, if you're talking about pace of game, forget that.
Well, the sensitivity is there about pace of play now because we have new rules for that. So that has become a priority.
Except in September.
So I think that's going to have to leak into September.
Jamie Romack takes low. I get just in terms of how you strategize a game. Nobody has ever given me a reasonable explanation as to why you have to add to the roster in September. Players get additional playing time and all of that stuff. Get that.
Allowing a team to have a taxi squad in the vicinity at the playing field in September is one thing. Adding to the roster in a way that it changes the purity of the game and the strategy of the game is another.
Well, but even so, I mean, and I hear that side of the argument all the time. Mm-hmm. You can essentially deactivate 4 starters.
Well, I think the rule would be in a way that you could design it so that those starters, you make your roster like 21 or 22 guys. So you automatically would deactivate those guys that had just pitched.
Well, I get, but the first 5 months of the year, you don't deactivate anybody. So, again, to me, and just as a fan of the game, why are the rules so fundamentally changed in terms of strategy and importance of game in the last month? You know, you want to reward the young fellas who did well at AA, AAA. Get that. Mm-hmm. Give them a nice vacation. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 out. And now it's getting to the point where teams are basically abusing the privilege. Again, Soch used 9 pitchers the other night, and Mattingly used 7.
And one of the original reasons for expanding the rosters was, of course, not as many teams made the playoffs. Teams that fell out of the race early wanted to have something to sell, to have fans come out and see the young guys that you might see next year. And then the clubs also, you get a chance to see those guys and how they perform under big league competition in a big league arena.
And I get that, and you're absolutely right about that. But what's changed is now you have many more playoff teams.
Exactly. Now you have more playoff teams, and now it's actually creeped into the races.
7-1 San Francisco in the bottom of the 7th. And Hernandez is down on strikes, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the 8th. Arizona with an even dozen. MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 400 supported devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Visit MLB.TV today. And we will go to the 8th inning. And Matt Stites begins his second inning. Brandon Drury is a new third baseman. Phil Goslin, who had been playing over at third, takes over at second base. And both teams are emptying their expansive and in some cases expensive benches.
Let's hope they don't empty their benches. That would be too many changes.
Well, we've seen a couple of empty benches brawls between these two teams over the years. Most of these guys don't know one another anyway. Especially on their own team. Here's Jose Peraza, 0 for 3. Missed about a week. He had a tight hamstring. Alex Guerrero, who pinch hit back in the third inning, pulled up lame. We saw him grab his hamstring, but the report was it was his left calf. It was the left side of the lower portion of his body. Either way, he is out. By the looks of it, might be a while. 2-1 to Peraza. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Giants lead 7-1 against the Padres in the bottom half of the 7th. To shortstop, Ahmed. Throws out Peraza, first out of the 8th.
So the Dodgers are going to spend a little of their well-earned lead tonight.
It'll be down to 7.5 and 8 in the loss column with 22 to play. For the Giants, they too are having all sorts of health issues. Gregor Blanco on the DL today with a concussion.
Go into San Francisco 5 up with 4 to go. You probably go in with a hangover. Just saying.
Yeah. 0-1. This is Austin Barnes. Dug out at first base by Romack. 2 gone. Brandon Drury throwing to Jamie Romack. And this game has, at least in terms of the folks out on the field, the feel of a game in Glendale, Arizona, not Phoenix, Arizona. And here's Ian Thomas batting for himself. Something he hasn't done often.
You have Pedro Baez throw 11 pitches. He'll be good for tomorrow. Yimi Garcia threw 12. He could be okay for tomorrow. Jim Johnson 21. They'll probably give him tomorrow off. Joel Peralta 19. He probably get tomorrow off. And Don Mattingly and Rick Honeycutt saying enough is enough. We want some rested pieces for tomorrow.
You know, it's one of those questions that you ask and you know you're never going to get an honest answer. You ask anyway. At what point in the game did you know this was over? You know, you want, okay, down 4-0. Okay, you can get back in 10-0 after 2. You know, you're now looking at history and something that the Dodgers had not done before. And what players are used? How do you use them? Do you use them? Thomas in his third big league at bat strikes out. That ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mattingly has to wait for the Marlins. This game is all but over, and in San Francisco, that game is all but over. The Giants have scored a couple of more in the bottom of the 7th. They lead the Padres 9-1. Nobody ever forgets the first game their dad took them to. So when all is said and done, the Dodgers lead will be 7.5 over San Francisco and 8 in the loss column. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 8th. Phil Gosselin will lead it off. And Ian Thomas beginning his 3rd inning of relief. And he, unless something terribly unforeseen, will be the last pitcher of the night for the Dodgers. Thomas in his 2 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Two and 0. So the Diamondbacks with the big lead and pop into short center. Seager taking charge. Arizona is 2nd in the league in runs scored. Now, including tonight, 634. Chip Hale has done just a terrific job in righting this ship here in Phoenix. Of course, upper management is new. Tony La Russa, Dave Stewart, John Watson. Brandon Drury's first at-bat.
And Charlie, there's a correction to what you just said.
Uh-huh.
Colorado's only scored 3 so far tonight, and they're in the 8th. That would make them 628.
Oh.
Arizona is now in first as far as runs scored.
Wow.
A night like that, tonight would help. Make it help, you know. You get 12, you're going to catch somebody.
There's Tony. And Deshaun Watson on the far side of the screen. One ball and 2 strikes. There's Dave. Dave Stewart. Stu. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun in the blue shirt. His dad, great blues guitarist. Johnny Guitar Watson.
Cool Stu. When he split his fingers and started throwing the split finger, his career took off.
On 2-2. Slowly hit. Thomas, did he get there in time? Yes, he did. Scott Van Slyke was limping a little bit after that play.
A lot of things happened in that play right there. Owens tried to call timeout before the pitch. The pitch, he was not given it. Had to put the hand back on the bat, swings it. Thomas delivers it and then beats him over to first base by, maybe not. They're going to take a look, even though it's 12-0. They're going to challenge this to get Owens a hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the previous play is under official video replay.
Well, what do we think?
The call on the field is that the runner
He's safe.
Looks like he's safe, and it doesn't matter for the outcome of the game, but it does matter for the mentality of your team and your player. And so you've got to challenge it.
Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, who's the first base umpire. Alan Porter, the home plate umpire. So they're wired for sound from New York. Jim Wolf is the home plate umpire tonight, so he took a foul tip off the mask and will come out of the game. Well, at 12-0. There's not exactly the height of drama here.
One angle for me, he looks out. One angle, he looks safe. I'm not sure.
Video replay review. The runner is safe at first base. The call has been overturned. Now batting, right fielder, Yasmani Tomas.
Chris Owings picks up his third base hit in his attempt to call time and swings it with almost one hand.
So he's 3 for 5. As Monty Tomas steps in, he's 2 for 4. A foul tip gets a piece of A.J. Ellis. The fellas with the masks tonight have really taken it.
It's AJ's 5th blow. First one to the mask. The other ones have been to the body shots. About 3 to his right arm, 1 to his chest, and now 1 to the face. He dropped to one knee like Jim Wolf.
To short. There's 1. And there's 2. No runs, 1 hit, last licks for the Dodgers. Boy, you got to be a loyal soldier. Dodgers only need 12 to tie as we go to the ninth. Of the game. He's from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, right on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border. And he had a career high 4 hits tonight. Second time he's done that. 2 doubles, a home run, and a single. And every time he faces the Dodgers, he enjoys himself. 4 hits, 3 runs batted in. Our Lexus player of the game. And a former Dodger is about to throw the 9th inning for Arizona. That's Alan Webster, making his 7th appearance with the D-backs. Ruby De La Rosa, who pitches for the D-backs tomorrow, along with Alan Webster, were 2 highly prized prospects in the Dodger organization who went over in that big trade that got Gonzalez, and Crawford, and Punto, and Beckett 3 years ago. There's Ruby. We'll see him tomorrow. De La Rosa will be making his 29th start for the D-backs. Van Slyke is done. 1 out in the 9th.
Shortstop, Corey Seager.
So you chalk this one up to one of those nights, and not a good one. Seager's walked twice and single. 385 in his first week. Not a bad way to start.
He has shown his true ability, and he looks like somebody that is a real good player. There will be adjustments when the league starts adjusting to him, and that might not even be this year.
Well, if you've been watching the past week, you see why the Dodgers would say thanks but no thanks to any trade possibility when his name came up.
Well, especially for me when you watch him against left-handed pitching. Just stays in there, takes a full cut, got a good eye.
2-1. Now 3-1.
There's a calmness about him that's really special.
Of course, his brother is an all-star third baseman in Seattle. And there's a third brother. And meanwhile, Seager's been on base all 4 times tonight, a single and now 3 walks.
Catcher, A.J. Ellis.
Justin Seager in the Seattle organization. Now A.J. Ellis battered and bruised tonight. He has taken foul tips right side, left side, a couple off the mask. Takes high and in, 1 ball and no strikes.
Pretty much could tell you what that was. We're up 12-0. Throw some strikes. Message delivered, message over.
There's no message to AJ.
Well, AJ deserves a hit. He's had 2 lineouts, taking a beating behind the plate.
Alan Webster. He's 25 out of North Carolina. Signed with the Dodgers in 2008. He was an 18th round pick. Two and 1 to Ellis, 1 out in the 9th. Line drive, robbed at third base. Drury makes a spectacular play. A.J. Ellis has smoked the ball 4 times tonight, and he's got nothing to show for it.
What amazes you about the defense that played at the big league level, and then you watch, you look up, a guy hits 350. For a guy like our partner Nomar Garciaparra hit 372. And you hit the ball that hard like A.J. Ellis did tonight, and you get nothing.
Now Chris Heisey. Swings and misses, nothing in 1. Heisey spent most of his year at AAA with Oklahoma City. Into left. And it drops in for a hit. For the Dodgers, their 3rd hit of the night.
Right fielder Scott Schebler.
Now here's Schebler. Oh for 1 and has struck out. It's nothing in 1. Twelve runs, 17 hits for Arizona. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Chopped to first. Oh, backhanded stab by Romack. Can't hold on to it. Now the bases are loaded with 2 out.
It was half of a nice play from Jamie Romack right there, but these balls probably got a lot of spin on it when it hits the leather right here, rolls around in his glove, and as he goes to take it out, falls out of the glove before he can get his bare hand in there to get it.
And he is rewarded with an error. Justin Ruggiano with 2 out. Fouls it off to the left and out of play. Angels hang on and beat the Astros 3-2. Texas shut out Oakland 4-0. And the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 11-5. Games of significance in the American League. Pirates beat Milwaukee. Reds and Cardinals have been battling rain in Cincinnati. They're tied at 2 in the 5th. Giants 9-1 in the 8th over the Padres. And the Dodgers here are now down to their final strike. Into center field. That's a long way back. And that one is gone. Justin Ruggiano with a grand slam in the 9th inning. It is 12-4.
When he first swung the bat, I wasn't sure, but this is a strong young man. It's a hanging breaking ball, and he gets full extension. He's a little out front, but there's enough swing left with some serious backspin and carry on this ball, and it gets out of here just enough to be 4 runs.
And now Peraza fouls out that injury. Meanwhile, Justin Ruggiano, since coming to the Dodgers, has 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Well, the grand slam is a buzzkill for the Diamondbacks, who still pound the Dodgers tonight 12-4. So that is a wrap from Phoenix. Arizona, 12 runs, 17 hits, 1 error. They left 7. The Dodgers, 4 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. They left 7. For Alana Rizzo and Oral Hershhausen, Charlie Steiner say good night and goodbye. Time to send it back to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.